So good evening, I'm Nancy Bagranoff, I'm the Dean of the Robbins School, and we're delighted to have you here for the final round of our business pitch competition. My job is simply to thank a few people, so I want to start by thanking the Association for Corporate Growth. They approached us a couple years ago and said, we really want to help sponsor this event, and we said, gosh, we love to hear that. So we're thrilled that they have been a sponsor for the last few years for this event, and we appreciate their sponsorship. I also want to thank our judges. You know, these are very busy people, and they take the time out of their evening. Scott Warren was telling me that after this, he's driving to Roanoke, so people are busy, but we appreciate that they took the time. As I call your name, would you mind just standing up and facing the crowd, and we'll hold the applause until I introduce them all. Karen Booth Adams, Pat Gallagher, Richard Harrison, Dan Henderson, Mike McGinley, Nasser Chandra, Emily McDaniel, Chris Moore, Charlie Polk, and Scott Warren. Thank you, judges. I also want to congratulate our finalists, PageChat, Finah, Generation O, LineGuard, and Sweat Tea. We can't wait to hear from you. I'm looking very forward to it. And before I turn this over to Jeff Pollack, I'd like to thank somebody very, very special, and that would be Jeff Pollack. Jeff Pollack is our entrepreneurship professor, and he does an amazing job in teaching our students in building the momentum for our entrepreneurship track and arranging and organizing this event. So thank you so much, Jeff. Let's hear it for Jeff. And now I'll let you come and talk about the process for this evening. Thank you.
Thanks, Nancy. It's fantastic to be here. The support that U of R gives entrepreneurship is fantastic and growing, so this is due in large part to Nancy, so we appreciate it. This event would not be possible without Karen England and Andy Miner, so Karen, thank you so much for all your help. Appreciate it. The format, as many of you know, will be 10 minutes of pitch, 5 minutes of Q&A, and we should be finished up. And as soon as we finish up, the students and those of us who are not judging will vacate and head to the reception area, after which point the judges will deliberate, come out, and share with us the first prize, second prize, and third prize. And I can't shake the feeling that you all look a little bit crowded in there, and so feel free to spread out and make yourselves more comfortable. If you're so inclined, make yourselves at home. So without further ado, we'll begin. Okay. Great.
Looks like this isn't working, so we'll just roll with this instead. Okay. So, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Brett Chorba, and today I'm asking for $50,000 for my company, PageChat. Now, it's not surprising that Google and Facebook are the two most popular companies and websites visited in the world today. But what is surprising is just how radically different they are. Now, people want to learn. We want to discover more about the world around us, and we use Google to gather this information. We also want to create social connections to form bonds with each other, and for that, we turn to Facebook. Yet, even with these companies, we are wasting a huge potential of the internet. This being that there is no standard and unified means for people viewing any web content to connect. Now, two students could view the same web page to get help on their math homework, but they can't discuss the problem they're trying to solve. Two travelers can book the same hotel on the same website, but they can't talk about the activities they're going to do once they get to their destination. And me and you can view the same political article, but I can't defend my point of view, and you can't impart new ideals to me. That is, until PageChat. Now, let's take a pretty average web experience. We need a new HD TV. So we're going to go on Amazon, and we have a nice LG TV here. And we've done some research, we looked at some reviews, but wouldn't it be great if we could talk to somebody who's looking at the same TV that we are, learn what they're looking at, and seeing why they're even looking at this TV in the first place? Well, what we could do is click on the PageChat icon in the top right-hand corner and instantly be connected with anyone viewing the same web page. Now, for maybe a little bit more of a hands-on experience, let's take a web page that we've all probably seen at least once or twice for this competition, the University of Richmond Pitch Competition page. So, if we wanted to connect to other people viewing this page, all we have to do is go up to the PageChat icon on the top right-hand corner. And as we can see, people are chatting on this page to connect. So somebody asked, what time the presentation is going today at, so I think I'll just say, right now. And as we can see, it's been posted under an anonymous username. So anybody viewing this website can connect using this way. Yeah, and here we go. So what you've just seen is PageChat, a free Chrome extension. PageChat users can click, chat, and connect to any other viewer of the same web page in an unobtrusive drop-down chat window. Imagine the users before if they had this tool to connect to each other. People can now interact like never before in a fun and new way. Now, since this is free for the users, how exactly are we making money? Well, as you may have seen before, there's a small unobtrusive advertisement placed on the bottom of the PageChat window. Now, the location of this advertisement is important. This is still prevalent enough for advertisers to display their content where users will see it, but it does not affect the usability of the product, the most important thing in any kind of advertisement-based web application. Now, your advertisement would be shown on all subdomains unless bid on by another advertiser first. Now, why would advertisers want to advertise at PageChat in the first place? What's wrong with traditional advertising? Well, besides having a new way to interact with one of Chrome's 750 million active users, PageChat advertisers can advertise on pages they can't normally advertise on, say Google.com, which gets almost as many hits per day as the United States population. Now, the magic of PageChat is its incredible scalability and very, very low barriers to entry. PageChat is currently using a client-server model, but will use something called WebRTC, or Web Real-Time Communication Protocol. What this means, it allows peers to transfer information between each other. So as our user base grows, our servers aren't going to have to handle the load as much. People can simply talk to each other along channels that way. Additionally, PageChat is built on a number of scalable Amazon Web Services. And this is important because, one, we don't have to pay and maintain our own servers, and two, we can spin up more servers as demand increases. We also don't have to pay for more servers than we need, meaning that we're not paying for excess capacity. Now, what's cool is that the instance of PageChat that you just saw is running on instances that are going to be free for the next year. Our total startup cost to bring PageChat to market today was $5. Now, with any kind of social product, such as PageChat, it's important that you make a very strong first impression. You want to get a very strong first user base so that people can connect to each other in this way. As such, we've allotted $10,000 in our first year for our marketing budget. We're going to focus solely on online-based advertising for a very important reason. This means that one click on our advertisements will take you to the Chrome Web Store, and one other click will install PageChat within your browser. Now, we're going to do a combination of both free advertisements and also paid web advertisements. The free advertisements will be focused on social media sites such as Facebook and Reddit, with paid advertisements on trendy and tech-heavy sites such as Mashable, computer-related blogs, and also Google AdSense and AdWords advertisements on sites such as YouTube. Now, in order to gain users for our beta, earlier to test PageChat, we did a similar social media campaign on a social networking site called Reddit. Now, user reception for this was incredibly positive. Comments included, "This is an amazing idea. I don't think the implications and potential of this are fully realized." People researching on Wikipedia, boom, they can connect to each other. As someone who hates social media, this, oddly, interests me. Now, there's no other competition directly to us at this time. Nothing like this has ever been done before. But there is competition in the way of traditional online communication. Now, the first of these being email. All of you use it. And it's really good for formal communication. But with email, there's an inherent latency in it. You email somebody, it takes them hours, days, sometimes even a week to get back to you. And you send an important email, and you don't hear for it, right away for a couple days. Now, Facebook solves this with the immediacy of chat. If you talk to somebody, you know when they've seen it, they can talk to you right back. But this limits who you can talk to. You can only talk to people within your social friend group. You can't really branch out more than that. Plus, your conversations are focused mainly on your own experiences, not necessarily the content that you're enjoying. Now, content sites on sites such as YouTube have these comment sections, but these comment sections aren't really the best place to facilitate discussion. So much so that you may have heard recently that YouTube transformed how they did their comments on their pages, now requiring a Google Plus account and changing the way that their algorithms worked. And this was met with an incredible backlash from the internet, mainly because they took away the anonymity, they forced people to use Google Plus, and the comment system as such is now broken. Wouldn't it be a cool way if there was a product out there to allow an old style of comments on YouTube, such as PageChat? Now, you might be asking, how can one person do this completely by themselves? Well, I'm currently dual degreeing in both computer science and an entrepreneurship major here at the University of Richmond. Additionally, I have strong backgrounds in both programming and leading entrepreneurship ventures in software from conception to completion, including the design, implementation, and selling of an Xbox Live independent game, which had 25,000 downloads and trial downloads in its first month of sales alone. This has given me an incredible experience in working with a critical user base and also managing a product within a market. Additionally, I have worked with and across programming teams in multi-billion-dollar companies, allowing me to manage this product as it moves on to the next level. So let's get to the real thing here, the numbers. Now, judging off statistics from our beta, we can extrapolate that by the end of 2013, we will see 18,000 users, moving up to 55,000 by the end of 2014, and hopefully 128 by the end of 2015. Now, doing some research on the market and learning that we get between 80 cents and $3 per 1,000 page views in revenue, taking some statistics on how many pages the average user visits per day, and saying that they're going to open PageChat for only 5% of the pages they're going to view, we'll see revenues of 20,000, 83,000, and 208,000 by the end of 2015. Taking in expenses such as marketing, hiring additional personnel at the end of year 3, and also some server expenses, we will see PageChat have a break-even point, be cash flow positive in just over 2 years, seeing profits of $60,000 by the end of 2015. We're asking for the $50,000 now to cover operating expenses for these first 2 years. As we've said, we've launched this product's on the market already. You can go to the Chrome Web Store and download it. That happened on September 26th. We're hoping to upgrade to the WebRTC and implement some additional features December 1st. We want our website set up by January 15th so advertisers have a uniform means to communicate with us. And we're hoping to launch our product February 1st of 2014. Now, we believe that PageChat has the potential to revolutionize every single web page on the internet. We believe content would be much more valuable if people could connect through that content. We believe communication is key to utilizing the internet to its fullest potential, and we believe that PageChat is the way to do this. I would like to thank you for your attention, and I hope to be connecting with you soon. Any questions?
Great job, Brett.
Thank you.
I was surprised to see in your projections the number of users. It felt really, really light to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess my question is, how do you create the network effect? Like, it's only valuable if lots of people have it and they're going there and leaving their comments, right? So
Correct.
How do you create that network effect with so few users?
Well,
I think it'd be in the millions, not the hundreds of thousands.
Right. So these are simply projections from our beta. It's really hard with some kind of social media to see this kind of exponential interpolation and abstraction there. But what we found is that the early adopters of this only frequent very specific pages on the internet and frequent most of their time there. So even with lower user base, we're going to see that they're not spread out over the billions and billions of pages on the internet. We've seen lots of focus on sites such as Reddit, sites such as YouTube. Additionally, if they did have these lower numbers, PageChat has multi-levels of connection. So you can talk to people simply on the page level. You can talk to them on the domain level, so everyone on YouTube could talk. And everybody who has PageChat installed could talk. And what's cool about this is early users can talk to everyone. And when it gets populated, people can talk simply on the same page.
How would you acquire PageChat users to subscribe versus other competitors that could provide in the same space?
Sure. So one of the things which made Facebook so successful, and one of the failures of Google Plus wasn't necessarily that it's a worse design, right? Facebook just has, everyone's on Facebook. People go to where other people are going to be using it. So we saw that people, they're excited about this idea. They think it's really, really cool. There was a lot of initial positive reception for this. And as such, if we have a very strong marketing effort in our first year, get a lot of exposure out there instantly, we feel we can reach this critical user base. And as such, if everybody's using this product, it doesn't matter if a competitor comes along, because nobody's going to be on it. Timeline in terms of, right.
You talked about getting to an extensive user base with marketing. It had a very, very small marketing budget.
Mm-hmm. Correct. So the beauty of a lot of the social aspect of this is we're relying heavily on the word of mouth. And this may, seem not very intuitive in some of the internet stuff, because internet advertisements they do cost a lot. But we saw an incredible positive reception on completely free sites with completely free marketing. There are very strong online communities which will use this tool, one of the sites being Reddit. Reddit is a social media site driven by user submitted content, and they love the idea. They crash pages all the time because of their critical user base. Everybody just goes there when something cool comes along. So we're focusing a lot on these free social media sites because this is what it is. It's a social media product.
So you're focusing on acquiring the users of it as opposed to looking at particular websites other than Reddit.
Right.
How are you going to attract the advertisers if you're going to have a user base and you're not really targeting a particular, like I can see this working really well for a sports site where
Right.
people will, want to talk to other people about a sports game that might be happening. But if you're looking at users that are going on a variety of different sites, how are you ever going to get enough data to attract advertisers to be able to sort of target their market?
Right. So the beauty of where this is, it's not something like Google AdSense or Google AdWords, which takes some of this aggregate data and compiles it like that. So if you have a spread out user base, sometimes it can be hard to find out where you want to target your advertisements. The thing is, advertisers themselves can pick whatever domains they want to advertise on, meaning that they can target a user base specifically that they want to. So if advertisers are, as you said, a sports team, let's say they're selling sports merchandise for that team, the team wants to advertise, they can go on NewEnglandPatriots.com and advertise that way. In terms of enticing advertisers in this, because you're right, that's a huge point. We need to get advertisers to get revenue on this. We're also going to extend reach to websites, popular websites, and say, do you want to advertise on this website? There is going to be a link directly to the PageChat website on the bottom of our thing, which will take you to that URL and allow you to bid on that. And additionally, it's going to be, again, word of mouth. You're going to see this product. They're going to see, hey, there's an open advertising space here. Wouldn't it be cool if we could acquire this cheap for right now? No. Nope. No. So what's cool about this is because it's in the Chrome browser itself. So users can install it, and then they can also limit whether or not it's used in things such as incognito mode. But because it's built into the browser itself, websites don't really have a choice about whether or not this is used on their web page. We're spending the marketing dollars on traditional internet advertisements, focusing on Google AdWords and AdSense, focusing on sites such as Mashable, which is not only technology. So we're appealing to basically males between the age of 25 to 35, English speaking, and primarily from the United States. We found that these demographics, they're the new adapters of technology. They see something cool and they tell their friends about it. They're on sites such as Mashable, such as Reddit, such as these kind of social sites. So we're going to focus our marketing dollars on targeting that demographic and also targeting on sites such as Mashable, such as tech-heavy blogs, such as maybe some technical YouTube channels as well.
What's the message that you're giving them to get them to use it? Is there an offer or a particular message that you use in that advertising to? I mean, it's so noisy on the internet now with all
Right.
these different pieces of technology that you can, download and use.
Mm-hmm.
Just wondering kind of what that usually entice somebody with an offer, like, because this was free.
Yeah.
Just wondering if you had thought about the messaging to sort of get these 25 to 35-year-old males to say, hell, I'm going to use this.
Yeah, so what we can do is, because we can target maybe specific sites with different advertisements, if we have a YouTube advertisement, we can just have a thing saying, post comments the way that you want to post comments. If there's a site which doesn't have a comment section, we can say, do you want to talk about this? And if there's sites which has maybe negative comment sections down there, we can say, do you want to connect with people over this? Do you want to say New England Patriots are great or New England Patriots are not so great in that instance? So it's going to be very site specific in that aspect. Thank you, Brett. Good. Thank you, guys. Yep.
Oh, you do have mine, good. Is that on or off? Should be on now. Because it was before that. It should work this time. If not, you'll just have to use the keyboard.
Let's see if it works. Do you want to take this side?
Yeah, no, I'll go there.
Okay. See, let me quickly see if this works. Okay. All set.
So hello everybody, I'm Fatima Al-Bassam and this is Manuel Paredes and we are Finah and we connect good people to good causes. And Finah is an Arabic term that translates into we have good within us. And today we are here to ask you for $2,600 to develop our website. So this summer, my 15-year-old sister really wanted to take advantage of her time and volunteer about 2 to 3 times a week. During her search, she just got frustrated and she stopped. She couldn't find volunteer opportunities that were worthwhile and at the same time where she could volunteer frequently enough. And she spent most of her time at home, and this is just something that should not happen. So right now in Saudi Arabia, a volunteering culture has been emerging. There are 161 official nonprofits. In this year alone, 11 have been added to that number, and 11 more have been approved. But there's still just a huge disconnect between the people who want to volunteer and the volunteer opportunities themselves. And this is just a problem that we really want to address.
The good news is we have found a solution, and that solution is Finah. The way it will work is as a search engine where you can type in the volunteer opportunity you're interested in and easily pick the time, the date, and the place to do it in a user-friendly and flexible way. So think of it as the Amazon of volunteerism. And there's a really important feature that it has, and it's a unique service. It is unlike anything else that's going on in Saudi. So we believe this is the right tool to solve the disconnection between the people and the volunteer opportunities. Let's go further and analyze our business model. We have 4 different sources for income. And the first 2 are pretty standard for any nonprofit. These are donations and grants, but we didn't want to rely only on this. So we figured out 2 ways to get revenue. The first one is business sponsorships. Allow me to explain how this works. We'll have business sponsors that'll be partners with us in exchange for advertising on our website and also for good PR. This is not something that is uncommon in Saudi Arabia. It's done all the time. And we will also have a different source for our revenue. This is the website services. Allow me to explain how it works. We'll offer the nonprofits the opportunity to either develop new websites or improve the ones that they have now, because they are currently not getting enough visits, they're not user-friendly enough, they're not getting their job, they're not attracting the volunteers. So we will work as the middleman between a freelancer and them, offering a competitive price to improve their websites. And over time, we want to rely less on donations and grants and more in business sponsorships and website services, therefore becoming a sustainable business.
So I want to take some time to talk about Saudi Arabia, why it's a good idea to do it there and to do it now. So like Manuel said, we are offering a unique service, so we have the first mover advantage. The second thing is we have cultural knowledge. So Saudi Arabia is very different from any other country in the world, and knowing its culture is essential for any business to thrive there. So some of the key things are, for example, the majority of Saudi Arabians are Muslims. And in Islam, there are a lot of incentives to both donate your time and your money. So this helps us a lot on both sides of the business. The second thing is men and women are mostly segregated. So we have different schools and different universities. So that's me in first grade with my very cool bowl cut. The third thing is being local. So I'm an international student. I'm from Saudi Arabia. And that helps us with two major things. The first thing is it brings Finah Khair trustworthiness. And the second thing is it helps us with a lot of legal barriers.
How are we going to make people get to know us? And we wanted to make a distinction between two different channels for marketing. The first one would be the organization that includes volunteer seekers and also business sponsors. And we'll get in contact with them through direct marketing. That's basically sending emails, setting up meetings, calling them, convince them that this is a great platform, that they want to be a part of this. The second channel is going to be the heart and soul of Finah Khair. These are the volunteers. And we are mainly going to market to them through social media that has proven to be very effective in Saudi Arabia. But also we want to create a community. We want the volunteers to be involved in that. So we're going to get volunteers also to advertise for us. And hopefully, in the end, Finah Khair will be built by volunteers for volunteers.
So again, we are offering a unique service, but we do have some indirect competition. So the first thing is Andalusia.com, which works as a social media platform that connects volunteers to volunteer groups. So the way this works is a group would post that, hey, we are going to the beach at this time, at this date, to go and clean it up. And then a volunteer would go and connect with them. So we have two major advantages over Andalusia. The first thing is we offer flexibility. So when you're connected to a nonprofit, immediately you pick the cause, you pick the time, and you pick the date. The second advantage is that Andalusia covers the whole Arab world, whereas we focus on Saudi Arabia and we cater our services to them. The second competitors would be the nonprofits themselves. So someone may want to just skip the middleman, which is us, and directly go to the nonprofits. But historically, the nonprofits have been really bad at marketing their volunteer opportunities, and this is exactly why we want Finah Khair to exist. So we're not really worried about this. So you might be wondering why a Saudi Arabian and a Venezuelan are doing this. I think the biggest thing is passion. Both of us are very passionate about Finah Khair, and we believe that it can solve this problem. The second thing is we are business majors, so we do have the basic skills to run Finah Khair. The third thing is we have been volunteering for a very long time.
Yeah, why would a Venezuelan be interested in creating a website in Saudi Arabia? As you may or may not know, I come from a country with big social contrast. So basically my whole life I've been passionate about giving back to the community and creating social value. I was involved in Venezuela in a program where we taught geopolitics class to people with lower income. So when Fatima told me about this project, I was really passionate and wanted to jump in, even though I'm not from Saudi.
And as for me, let's take this semester, for example. I am tutoring Arabic to Arabic students for free, and I'm also teaching English as a second language to one of the dining hall staff here. And most of my friends here volunteer, and that's because we have a whole department in this university dedicated to civic engagement. And one of the reasons why I came here to the US is to get a really good education, a really good experience, and bring them back with me to Saudi. And that ease of finding ways to help people is something that I feel passionate about bringing back. And it's just essential for any community to thrive. So we're passionate, but we also want to be realistic. So we projected our numbers for the first 2 years. So the total revenue and support the first year is going to be $52,000. Our total expenses are going to be about $40,000. This may seem a bit low, but the way we did this is we projected everything in Saudi riyals, and then we converted it into dollars. And then the change in net assets for the first year is going to be $12,000. So, something that's very probable is we might incur additional expenses, and this $12,000 can help us. In the second year, our total revenue and support is going to be $70,000. Total expenses are going to be about $61,000. The expenses here go up because we add an additional employee as we expand into the central region. And then the change in net assets for the second year is going to be $9,600.
Okay, so currently Finah is just an idea. That's why we need you. That's why we need the $2,600 to make it a reality. And that will be our phase one. We want to develop our website, and once we have that website, we want to raise capital to do the rest of our operations. The phase two will be our first year of business. We only want to work in the eastern region of Saudi because it's the market that we know better. We're going to have these targets of opportunities and volunteers. And we'll start developing the website services that I talked about in the business model. For the phase three, this will be the second year of business. We want to expand, as Fatima said, to the central region. That will get us a new employee and more costs. But it also will give us a bigger market. We have a bigger number of targets. And for the third year, we want to expand to the western region. They have the whole country working with us. And we also want to focus on sustainability. How are we going to do this? We're going to hire a full-time website developer to do the website services for us, then focusing less on donations and grants and more on these services. And on the long term, we don't want to be just a middleman. We want to be an active member of the community. So we want to create social programs for the nonprofits. We want to help them improve the ones that they have. Basically, create the change that Saudi needs. So thank you. Remember that Finah connects good people with good causes. Help us make this a reality. And now we welcome your questions.
Thank you.
So for the organizations that are seeking volunteers, is that for website services? Are you charging them a fee to participate in the community, or can they sign up for free and post their listing?
Well, we debated that, but in the end, we ended up, we don't want to charge them anything just because this is something new. And we're going to need to convince them to be on our website. And just having that additional fee is not going to really benefit us. And that's one of the reasons why we want some other additional revenue.
So the website services, what is that?
So that's what we're doing is we are being the middleman between the freelancers in Saudi Arabia who develop websites and the nonprofits. So we're going to offer the nonprofits a competitive price to develop their website. I can show you.
Yeah, if you allow us to elaborate on this. This is a website of one of the nonprofits in Saudi. As you can see, it doesn't even go full screen. It doesn't really have any information. It's not really user-friendly. So besides being a search engine and helping people find the websites, we want to improve the websites themselves to get them more volunteers.
You worry about having basically two businesses under this umbrella. You have the volunteer connection business, and now you've got a website service business.
Yes. Well, the main thing is the Finah is with the search engine, and then the website services are just going to be a source of revenue, and it's not going to be our total focus. So in the first year, we projected that we're only going to develop 2 websites. And that doesn't really take a lot of our time. It takes more of the developer's time. So we're just going to work initially just to convince the nonprofits to do their websites, and then the rest is just going to be communication between the developers and the nonprofits.
Yeah, but by the 3rd year, we do want to be bigger and be able to conduct both businesses, and we want to hire a full-time developer to do the website services fully for us, not having to deal with a freelancer, and therefore relying less on donations and grants, which are never a sure thing.
I know on your business sponsorships did increase from year 1 to year 2. How come they were the revenue was flat between 2 years?
There isn't really a reason behind this. It's just that we are focusing the 2nd year on the website services, more on the sponsorships. But that's basically it.
Yeah, we can certainly we do have really pessimistic, previous,
conservative, yeah.
Pessimistic previous for both the website services and the business sponsors. But then again, the change in net assets was positive. So it's good news. It's good news for us because we have contingency in case something wrong happens.
Yes.
So not understanding Saudi culture like you both do, can you elaborate a little bit on the competitiveness to get sponsorships and donations, and who are you competing against there?
Well, like I said, the majority in Saudi Arabia are Muslims, and that really helps us a lot. People are always willing to donate, and are always willing to sponsor nonprofits. So, for example, there was just an event. It wasn't even. It was a nonprofit. It was about calligraphy, teaching calligraphy. And it got about 20 businesses, international businesses and local businesses to sponsor them. So it's very common, and it's not very hard to do that. And also, there are a lot of businesses to pick and choose from. So we're not very worried about that.
So how would you do it?
Oh, how would we do it?
Yes.
Okay, so the first year, we have a family business. So I've already talked to my family about them sponsoring Finah Khair. So that's the first year, and they are willing to do that. In the second year, we are just going to use our connections and reach out to other businesses for them to sponsor us. But I do plan to have the same family business to sponsor us for the first 2 years.
And also, in the previous phase of this competition, we had a great email from a judge that has a contact in the U.S. Embassy for Saudi Arabia, and that he can help us get grants, so we are already getting a lot from this competition, which is pretty good news.
You need Saudi Arabian website developers?
Yes.
Specifically? Or prevalent? People that speak the language?
Oh, yes, yes. Yeah. Well, I already contacted someone who's willing to do that.
Did you say early on there are only 161 nonprofits in Saudi Arabia?
Yes.
So what do you expect that number to be in the next 5 years?
Well, like I said, in this year alone, there was about an addition of 22. So I don't really have a certain number, but in the next 5 years, definitely over 200. But the thing is, when we talk about when we talk about nonprofits, the nonprofits themselves have various volunteer opportunities, and they don't only do one thing. So even if we're working, for example, for the first year with, let's say, 50 nonprofits, those nonprofits have at least 2 each volunteer opportunities.
And also, we want to stress that it's not only the nonprofits who offer volunteer opportunities. We can also rely on hospitals, on schools. There are many ways of getting social service. So it's definitely an expanding market.
Everyone. Hi, everyone. I'm Natasha.
I'm Luki.
Ever since I was younger, I've always been really passionate about a healthy lifestyle and nutrition. And when I came to college, I found that it was really hard to live that same lifestyle because of my living arrangements and my meal plan. I really didn't have the same access or the same time that I had in the past, so we saw this as a really big problem and also a really big opportunity.
So today we're going to talk to you about Generation O, our bubble juice cart, which is a nutritious solution for the generation on the go. So as April just talked to you about, when we came to college, we all really wanted to be healthy, and we wanted to find, we found it hard with the time that we had to be healthy. So we looked at the University of Richmond campus, and we found that this was a common pain point, that students had only 15 minutes in between classes, and they had all these obligations, so it was hard for them to go across campus maybe to Freshens and get that fresh juice smoothie that they wanted, or go all the way to Whole Foods and get that organic juice that they really craved. So we did an external market research, and we found that 74% of college students today eat less than the amount of daily allotted servings of fruits and vegetables that they need. So there's a huge issue because this generation is our future. So we surveyed the students at the University of Richmond, and we found that 93% really do care about being healthy, but 66% feel very limited with their resources and access and time. So we wanted to find a solution that would really fix that. And we have a juicer at home, so we decided to look into the juicing industry. We found that it's a booming industry right now, so it's a $5 billion business, and profits are expected to grow from 4 to 8% per year. And as you can see, these three companies are examples of really successful companies that have been acquired by huge corporations for millions of dollars. So we really believe that we can bring this to college campuses, and we have this huge opportunity to capitalize on that growth. So we came up with Generation O, the bubble juice cart. We wanted to be different from our competitors, and the way we decided to do that was we took two concepts, the bottle juice and bubble tea. I'm not sure if any of you have ever had bubble tea, but it's made out of tapioca bubbles, and as you know, the juice that we were talking about, Odwalla, Naked Juice, Evolution Fresh, those are all cold-pressed juices. So we said, all right, let's make a solution that's even more fresh and fun to drink for college students. And what this is doing is it's this fresh juice that's juiced from a juicer, combined with tapioca bubbles that are all in one drink. And we're going to be serving this on a juice cart that is bringing the nutrition to this generation on the go.
So we have two accessible products. Our first one is the Immune Boost, and these fruits and vegetables have ingredients such as nutrients such as vitamin A, vitamin E, vitamin C, and they're all proven to boost your immune system. We're constantly battling stresses in the environment, bacteria, flu season, so this drink really will build up your immunity towards those things. Our second drink is the Brain Power, and it's a lot of the green vegetables, so they also have vitamin A and E, and what they're doing is they're really going to help you focus more clearly and have clarity when you're trying to study, when you're trying to focus on a test. So why juice in general? Basically, when you drink something in a liquid form, your body is more able to readily absorb it. So you don't need the same amount of energy eating solid foods. So you're going to get those nutrients right into your system. So it really is a great way to gain your nutrients. So our total cost is going to be $2.50, and we're going to sell them for $4. So we're going to be making $1.50 on each cup, and you can have them with the bubbles that we talked about earlier or without.
Our underlying magic contains 6 main elements. The first one, the bubble for your choice. It contains iron, calcium, dietary fiber, and it provides you with gluten-free energy source. It's also a lot of fun to drink with. Also, you cannot find bubbles in any other bottled juice because the bubbles can only be consumed the day it's made. The second one is the highly selected organic fruits and vegetables with no preservatives and no pesticides.
Another thing that we think a lot of businesses are lacking are supply chain transparency. So we want to highlight the fact that these are organic fruits and vegetables. We want to tell people where we're getting them from. We want to educate them about that, and we want to have that all fully disclosed on our website.
We're also promoting healthy lifestyles through our nutrition blog and factos. So these facts are going to be on each juice that we have, and it's going to be one nutrition fact per day that when people buy this drink, they can really be educated about being healthy and being nutritious. And also convenient service when and where you need it. So we're really going to analyze where on campus is high traffic volumes of people that really want this, and we're going to park outside those buildings so that people will have access where they need it.
And lastly, one of the main concerns with juicing is there's a lot of waste, a lot of byproducts that come out of taking a fruit, putting it in the juicer. You're just gaining those liquids, so you're going to have a lot of byproduct. So what we're doing is I volunteer at William Byrd Community House. I'm a Bonner Scholar there, and they have an urban garden, so I've already arranged that we can bring our waste there, and they have a very active compost. So all those nutrients are going to be going back into the soil to make our business model more sustainable. So we have 3 types of competitors. We have the bottled juices such as Evolution Fresh, Odwalla, and Naked. But really, we have a competitive advantage against them because, like we said, they're cold pressed. So when you put them through extra filters, you're losing all those fibers and all those extra energy source that you're going to have in our fresh juice, so that they can have a longer shelf life. A second competitor are juice stands such as Freshens, but they're more of a smoothie place. They're not the exact same product that we are, and it's not accessible to all of the students on campus. Also, there's juice stands off campus. Elwood Thompson's has a juice stand, but students don't have enough time in between class, and they might not have a car to get there. Lastly, bubble tea places are another competitor, but there really is no access to that on campus, and these options are local options, but kids who live here from other places might not really know where to go to find bubble tea. And really, we've differentiated ourselves from all of these competitors by including the bubbles and really making this a fun and unique way to get your nutrients.
We target on the 14 million university students nationwide. For example, we have 4,000 students here in the University of Richmond with a survey sent out and get that there's 85% of them are willing to buy the juice. And also because of the growing student population, and also because we are seeking partnership with other schools, we can generate more students to buy our juice. And also we can save customers and capture more by marketing strategy.
So our go-to-market strategy, we want to partner with universities, and how we're going to do that. We want to first find what the demand is. So we want to send out surveys and see if there really is a need on different campuses. And by doing that, we're also going to see where is the need on those campuses. So what students want this juice, and how many of them are willing to buy the juice for an allotted price. We also, again, are going to be partnering with non-for-profit organizations to make sure that we're composting our waste. Free samples is our direct marketing strategy, so we want to give out free samples. We've allotted $1,500 for that, and we really do believe that these free samples can give us a lot of revenue in the long term, because so many people that we've given these samples to already have loved our drink. So they really do love our product, and we believe in it. And finally, pull marketing. We are going to have a nutrition blog to keep people interested in our products. We want to have social media web pages to make sure that we're in contact with our customers, and we want to make sure that they know what our schedule is every day. So where are we going to park on campus, and what times are we going to be there? And customer rewards, just to keep people interested in our products. So in the long term, when we do make profits, we'll give out punch cards or customer rewards, just to keep them interested.
Our financial projections based on our 2-week trial test, and it's also be with the 10% market growth because of the growing industry and the marketing strategy. With the first year with only 1 card, and because we're setting everything up, so we're experiencing loss. But we're getting money back in the second year with 3 cards, and in the third year we're having 5 cards and getting profits tripled.
So just to tell you a little about the team, I'm Natasha. I'm the founder and the chief marketing officer, and I'm really, really passionate about being healthy. And this past summer, I worked at American Express as a marketing intern, and I really feel like I can leverage what I learned there to bring a better go-to-market strategy for our company.
I'm April. I'm an interdisciplinary studies major, and I have a focus in food marketing. And last semester, I completed a food studies program at the Umbra Institute in Perugia, Italy, when I studied abroad. And I've always been really passionate about healthy eating and sustainable agriculture. And I'm going to be the chief operating officer, so I'm going to handle all of the everything that has to do with the cart, the fruits and vegetables we order, the suppliers we work with.
I'm Luki. I'm the financial officer of the company. I'm very sensitive to money in dollar terms. That's why I'm the financial officer. And also, I love bubbles personally. My experience working in the library as system assistant also gave us the opportunity to build website because of my knowledge of basic HTML and the database analysis.
So lastly, we just want to show you a little projection. In 2014, we want to get the approvals and open up our carts on University of Richmond. We're going to start with 1 cart, and we want to feature our 2 drinks, the Immune Boost and the Brain Power. And then the next year, we want to invest in more carts, and we also want to partner with local vendors and highlight their seasonal items so we can educate people about what fruits and vegetables are seasonal so we can be more sustainable. And then we also want to get feedback and see what people really like and what they don't like. And then in 2016, we want to invest in more carts and expand regionally and find other ways to use our waste, such as cakes. We could use the carrots for like a carrot cake, so we could potentially increase our profits in the future.
So thank you all for sitting here today, and we have some free samples for you, and you can ask some questions now. Thank you.
I did not see card expense in your gross margin listing.
The card expense, it's $2,000. We're importing it from China, so it's...
I didn't see that anywhere in your numbers, though.
Oh, okay, it's in our other financial statement right here. So we probably didn't highlight it enough on the financial statements, but it's included in our utilities cost. So, and our startup cost is $11,000, but the three of us are each investing $1,000, so we're only asking for $9,000.
8,000.
8,000, sorry. Yeah.
The card is only $11,000.
The cart is $2,000.
You're so nice.
And I know that's a very low cost cart, but what we tried to do is we tried to research the cheapest we could get. And this cart actually comes full with a sink, a refrigerator, and all the things that we really need to do this. And I know that's really unbelievable, but we did find it, and it's imported from China. So again, like, we're going to look into that a little bit more because that is a little bit risky. So we want to make sure that we can find a more reliable solution for sure.
It looked like a truck, but it's a push cart, right?
It's a truck. It's a cart. It's exactly the one that was in the picture. Yeah.
It's a drivable with an engine vehicle.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
your growth, you stated it in terms of increase in carts. Is that all university or is that?
Yeah, so basically we wanted to make sure that the next two carts that we invest in are going to be on other campuses. So that was a big thing. We've already contacted VCU and other campuses. I actually talked to the Associate Vice President of Food Services at Richmond today, and she was telling me about how Duke University and UNC have really good opportunities there for young entrepreneurs to bring their businesses and just have trial periods at least. So when we get there, that's what our plan is, to really contact other universities and see if there's a demand, and that's where we want to grow and expand our carts.
But we use University of Richmond as our model, and that's where we did our survey and had all our data.
Because that was my question, is how difficult is it to get into, I mean, I guess University of Richmond would be easy because you're students, but how difficult is it to get into other colleges?
It mostly will depend on the contracts. So we need to investigate what contracts they have with other beverage providers, such as Coke or Pepsi, and then how lenient they are with those, and if they would even let another person come in and have a juice cart.
And actually right now, Richmond has a Coke contract, so we're trying to get past that and move around it. So I did meet with the lady today, and so we're meeting again later this week to see if there's a possibility that we could really do this on campus. Yeah?
So the sales revenue of the immune boost and brain power, so for $4 a piece, I mean, it's 600,000
that are sold.
drinks sold in year one.
Yeah.
My math right?
Yes, and this was based off of a 2-week trial period. So my partner over here, she was selling bubble tea for our 2-week project, and she sold, within 1 hour, she sold 60 cups, I think you said? Or?
No, 1 hour, I sold 33 cups.
33 cups. So.
And our assumption is based on selling 30 cups per hour and selling 5 hours per day.
And then we increased it based on the projections of growth in the market.
What is the reason, so I'm just interested in the bubble component of this. I'm assuming increase the cost of the product versus just sort of an organic wheat fruit drink. What is the same reason that people buy bubble tea, the same reason is it from a nutrition perspective?
Actually, bubble tea, the problem with it is that it's not that nutritious. So what we're doing is we're taking those tapioca bubbles, that idea, and we're putting it into a more nutritious form. So what they do with bubble tea is they make those bubbles with sugar, and the whole drink is very, very sugary, and it's not natural. So what we're doing is taking those tapioca bubbles, they're actually coated in honey, not sugar, and they're combined with this all fresh natural juice. So it's completely kind of taking that idea but making it more fresh and organic and actually nutritious.
So you're actually targeting two different types of customers, the ones that are looking for the organic, healthy fruit drink, and then the ones that enjoy the bubble tea drink.
Right.
Our main thing would be on the healthy part.
I feel like a lot of people too maybe aren't as exposed to bubble tea, so it could be an interesting way to introduce it to them, and also it provides like an energy source. So while you're having the nutrients from the fruits and vegetables, you're also gaining. It makes it a little more, you know, you can sustain on it for a little bit longer as opposed to just a plain juice. So that's another reason.
So why is Coke going to allow you to compete against their juice?
Well, that's the problem that we're facing. but really it is, our drink is more nutritious because they are,
I don't care.
well, I mean, but it will be accessible to students also. I feel like, I mean, some people might not even know that they offer Odwalla on campus. It's only in one location on campus that you can even buy that.
But do they have exclusive on campus?
No, and so this is definitely something that we need to go into. So right now, yeah, Odwalla is sold on campus, and that is a Coke beverage. And so when we were talking to the Associate Vice President of the Food Services, she said, you know, there are ways around it. So she was talking about some opportunities in franchising maybe. So having, you know, 815, which is our Starbucks on campus, maybe they would sell the product instead of, you know, having the actual full cart. So, you know, there's different ways of changing the idea in that sense. Right now we're working on fixing our business model so that it can work with the University of Richmond. But again, we don't want to limit ourselves to just University of Richmond because there are other campuses out there that would be willing to have a juice cart on campus. So we're definitely doing an analysis on that.
Yeah, do you guys like it? It's awesome. Thank you. That's the Immune Boost. Oh yeah, sure. Do you want us to move on? Sorry. Oh, great. Okay. Might be weird. Okay. Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Lauren Granger. Fortunately, my business partner, Christy Granger, couldn't be here today, so I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys about LineGuard myself. So what's the opportunity? There are over 5 million fly fishermen who get annoyed every 5 seconds. Truly, there are about 18 million fly fishermen in the US only. This number is based on the amount of people that are advanced, so going over 20 or 30 times per year, and that's the amount that we're initially targeting. We can expand on the 18 million later. You can ask me about that if you need some clarification. So basically, the problem is when you go to fly fish, the first thing you want to do is you have to take out all the line necessary in order to cast. So if you're an advanced fly fisherman, you're taking out into the backing probably 70 or 80 feet of line. So all this line is collecting around your feet, essentially. Picture yourself on a boat in a stream. You have the current, you have wind, you have hooks on your waders, belt, everything. So the chances of you going ahead and casting, this isn't a full fly rod, casting the line all the way out without anything getting caught down here is very minimal. And so basically people get frustrated every single time they go to cast back out, hoping that this line that they strip down here is going to come up with no problems. So the main opportunity is that this is independent of the level of expertise. So essentially the better that you're getting at fly fishing, you're not really improving on this line issue. You're still having this problem no matter what. And it's a gear-focused target market. So based on that $5 million figure, $2.5 billion in annual sales, it's a little low. It doesn't encapsulate big giants like Bass Pro and Cabela's. So honestly, this number is pretty low, although those stores focus mostly on tackle fishing. So
if you think about it, gear-focused target market, these people are willing to spend money to perfect the sport. So I'm willing to spend money, $900 on a fly rod, $900 on a reel. People are spending about $100 on their fly line now. And so they're not going to want to be standing on it, yanking it up, preventing themselves from catching fish, ruining their fly line essentially. If they can get a product if there's a product on the market that can solve this, why not buy it? So what's the solution? We're producing a secondary spooling accessory. So you're going from kind of this main diagram issue to a simple secondary spool that will connect onto this base reel. Just a secondary application that dynamically kind of, when you strip back the line, collects it. When you want to cast out, releases it. Again, when you want to set the hook on a fish, you reel. I'm going to show you this technological diagram here. There's a clock spring inside that when you want to set the hook on a fish, you go ahead and reel. That spool isn't invading on the sport at all. So basically, giving this to you as kind of a credibility, give myself some credibility. I don't have a prototype here today. I've basically gone to the lengths with our engineer where he's now saying, I need money in order to produce this. You've begged me as far as you can. This is basically a dumbed down version that's laying on his desk. If I give him money, it's feasible. He's ready to go ahead and produce our first prototype. Spoke with our patent lawyer. Intellectual property protection is possible. We had a long conversation about patents and with the costs associated with those, and I'll outline them on our financial projections. So to start, what are our competitive advantages? Essentially, let's see if I can put this down. Excuse me, sorry. I want to carry that. Competitive advantages, technologically superior. So right now on the market, bottom center, if you could see, the only thing that's trying to satisfy this issue is called a stripping basket. And so essentially, Orvis and other main fly fishing companies are charging you $85 to strap a plastic piece of Tupperware around your belt. So this picture, this man's invested thousands of dollars in the sport and looks like an idiot, for lack of a better word. So I've tried it out myself. It doesn't work to the full extent that a product could solve this problem. So I don't see that as a viable competitor. It's not economical to store. People that aren't willing to pay $85 for the Tupperware are building their own products. So this is someone I know and respect as a very capable fly fisherman on the bottom left. He's using a laundry hamper to collect his fly line. So if you think about that, the wind comes up, the hamper blows away, and you're even worse off than before. So bottom right, LineGuard, we're sleek, we're sophisticated, we're basically doing automated engineering. We're not trying to invade on the sport in any way. Fix your problem, let you fish, let you catch fish, not your feet. Developed by passionate lifetime anglers. Although my outfit doesn't suggest it, I fish a lot. I grew up fishing about 10 hours a day as a child for my father's company. Takes fly fishing clients all over the world and basically taking them to new locations. These are ranging from beginner to expert, mostly expert clients. So I already have those established initial sales channels. I know these people, I've talked to them about it. They're very interested, they want to help out. Another great thing, room for product line growth. Great, with our initial prototype, we want to capture the excess line. What else can we do with it? People, like I said, they want to take care of their gear. This can be a cleaning mechanism. So I personally, every time I fish, I go to the extent of cleaning my line 3 or 4 times. If we can put a cleaning mechanism inside that, that's great. That's another premium product that we can offer on our line. Furthermore, I won't go into detail, but reeling up all your line, if you have a leader, a fly, etc., it gets caught in the reel. If we can apply the same spooling capacity to just capture the leader, so when you want to take off your fly line and string your whole rod up every day, if we can apply it to that kind of problem, I don't see why not. Business model. So, like I said, we've talked to an engineer. He says, great, if you give me $8,000, we can do this prototype. We can start the product development. We're excited. We doubled it because this is based on technology. We're relying on this being a technological solution. We have to get it right. And there's going to be rapid iterations of it. That's just the way it's going to work. We're going to perfect it over a small period of time. Website, our website developer said $7,000. I can make a great website for you. We said we'll double it because that's our main sales channel, so that has to be good. Patent lawyer said $7,000, anywhere from 7 to 15, add on more for international. So we kept it at 15 for now as that initial startup cost that we need to kind of protect that product. Unit production cost, $10. I said, wow, that's so low. Are you serious? And our engineer said, as far as now, when we're looking at the materials that we're doing, this is a viable cost initially to do that development process. Yes, it'll be higher. But this is when we are doing our full-on business, selling to customers. These are the amounts. Low minimum order quantity, don't want inventory. Price, $85. That's currently what people are willing to pay for the solution. We see that the price could be a lot higher for this, but we want to capture that initial kind of credibility, have people realize that it works, and go from there. So with that being said, we're making about a $70 margin with packaging and kind of shipping included in there. For the market, sales channel, we're doing online, like I said. The only thing I've spent on this project so far is the domain. So we have the domain. And the intermediate and advanced anglers are the target. Like I said, casting the most line, worried the most about perfecting the sport, and don't want to ruin their gear. Along with that, our whole kind of marketing model centers in on capturing those upper tier advanced anglers, because this sport is about mentoring. You know, if someone that I look up to says, hey, you need this product, it's going to be great, I'm going to buy it. And I've witnessed that from my dad, who's selling a $350 pair of pliers because they cramp the barb on each hook the best. So people are willing to buy they're willing to pay the necessary price to get a good product and perfect the sport. So this really relies on brand ambassadors, and the 10 candidates that we're considering, those are professional fly fishing guides that have that huge network beyond our own, and basically are mentors to the people that they're guiding. Fly shop demos, have those offered. Trade shows, the fly fishing show, that logo is the main fly fishing kind of expo that goes around every year, and the main aficionados go to those, so we want to be there for those. Year one is small, $25,000 in cost. That's small because we're focusing on personally getting that upper tier of people. The big rollout would come in year two, where we go ahead and amp up magazine advertisements and go ahead and get ourselves way more out there as far as other than personal marketing. So the forecasting, these numbers you saw in the last slide, 6,000 customers about in year one. The $45,000 startup cost is in there. The advertising you saw in the previous slide. So you could say you go either way. Wow, these look way too big considering you said 5 million market of advanced anglers, but essentially I'm making $11 million in profit by year 4 by only selling just a little over 150,000 products. So that's the margin that's giving me the money there. And if you take that 158,000, considering the 5 million, it's almost 3%. That's all I'm getting in the market for 4 years. So for me, I think these numbers are conservative. The team, we've talked to a lot of people. A lot of people want to help us out because a lot of people are annoyed with this issue. Lee Kinsey is our main kind of guide, who will be the umbrella brand ambassador, official employee. He's a professional fly fishing guide. He used to fish about 60 hours a week in the summertime, so spending a lot of time in the water, knows the problem, wants to help. Seth Decker, our website developer. Bruce Ferris, the person we're talking to at engineering, and then Luke Santangelo, who's been crucial as far as our a registered patent attorney that's given us a lot of insight on how we can protect our product, essentially, since barriers to entry is a concern here. Status and milestones. I wish I had a prototype. I'm so ready to have a prototype. I need to get money to get the prototype. I know it's feasible, so if I get money, I can go ahead and they're ready to do it for me, basically. So I can have that on the table, iterate, have this a quick process, get our feedback from those field testing clients, go ahead and do the market launch, the online marketplace launch, and go ahead, and the first summer is when we're trying to get those top advanced mentors. And so by the end of year 1, yep, those aren't our big sales figures, but year 2, after that rollout, people have heard about it, people adopt the concept, then we're off to the races, hopefully. So anyways, that is LineGuard, and we're so excited. And if you guys have questions, throw them at me. Yeah.
What do you get for $45,000?
$45,000 for the startup cost. Sorry?
$45,000, how much interest in the company?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's just the minimum startup cost. I would actually ask for the, let me pull this back. I would ask for $150,000 to cover that plus the marketing expenses. So I don't want to just get paid for the bare minimum startup costs. Those I merely just wanted to outline so you guys saw what it's going to take for me to get it off the ground initially.
And what type of, you don't have any G&A or salary cost or overhead?
See, that's the initial thing. The team here is my sister, me, and then Lee Kinsey, and we said for the first 4 years, this is on the side where this is a business that we're going to focus on, but this isn't our source of salary. That's not where I'm getting my money, so I'm not paying Lee. At least he agreed to that.
It handle sinking tips, steel tips, all kinds of different types of fly lines.
I'm sorry, I couldn't understand the first part.
Reeling in sinking tips and things of that nature.
Oh, in general when fishing? Yeah. Absolutely. So basically, if if you haven't fished, you have a lot of problems with if the line that you have, if the fly you have on the end of your line is heavier, it gets even more difficult to kind of manage where it's going. Kind of inertial physical properties makes that difficult. So this is something that we're trying to get rid of that issue. So.
When someone buys one, how long does it last? Is it something that needs to get replaced over a certain amount of time? Or?
We toyed with that because we said, hey, the fly fishing industry, this is a niche market. We maybe want to not have it last that long and have them buy more. To combat that, we said, okay, if you're advanced, for my family, we each have about 5 fly rods. So you're not buying one of these. You're buying one for each of your fly rods. And so we want this to last. We want it to be a good product. We want it to last. And like I said, we have growth opportunities. So if we want to build the cleaning mechanism, keep expanding, keep having people upgrade. No one wants to lose a fish because of this.
So it seems like this is contingent on your prototype working, right? Like that's a...
Right, so yeah.
And so I know Bruce pretty well, and he's entrepreneurial. Like, what, instead of being held hostage by the $8,000 he needs to build a prototype, why not offer him a cut of the business, and then he has more incentive to make a prototype that really works for you, and you can get going without collecting money.
No, I agree. That's a really good idea. I think the basic issue is that I haven't really shopped around for other engineers. He's the one I've talked to. I was referred to him. He's a great guy. I need to shop around, get some other numbers, get some other kind of insight on it. That's a great option, though, before I move forward.
I don't know much about fly fishing, but is there a risk that the using of this is going to affect the enjoyment of the sport?
Mm-hmm. So that was basically the very, very core issue with the core thing that we had to make sure we were careful with is that fly fishing is so artistic. Versus tackle fishing. Fly fishing is kind of like this elite, artsy style where you're solo on the water and you don't want any additions to make it easier. So basically what we thought, the fact that the better you get at fishing, from my own experience, the better I get at fishing, and I am a very good fisherman, it's not helping me manage my line. So no matter if you're perfecting the sport, this is ruining your line and you're still having this annoyance. So we saw it take away the annoyance. This issue doesn't have any basis on how good they are at the sport, essentially. That was a good way to answer it.
You want to press it or you want me to press it? Cool.
All right. Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Christopher Ballo.
And I'm Palmer Niaz.
And we're here to present to you our brand new exciting idea, the sweat tee. Now, what is the sweat tee? It's a special sweat-proof undershirt designed for business professionals to prevent wet stains or yellow staining on your outer shirt. This is through our CoolMax fiber technology that basically absorbs moisture away from your skin, pulls it away through the rest of the fiber of the shirt to have a higher evaporation rate, and it's also very breathable. So air is allowed to come in through the shirt, allowing the body temperature to be cool at all times.
So you might ask yourselves, does this CoolMax technology even exist? And well, yes, it does. And it's currently owned by a company called Invista. They license out CoolMax technology to other manufacturers, ranging from companies such as Dick's Sporting Goods to LL Bean. And what we hope to do with this technology is help use it in a manner that hasn't been used before for clothing and gain a design patent in our specially designed undershirt. And so to give you a little bit better idea of our product and how competitive it is, we're hoping to design an undershirt that does not allow sweat to penetrate, but also that has a light and low profile. Because as Chris and I both kind of find, we don't really enjoy wearing undershirts that kind of show and are kind of bulky. And as society moves towards being more fashion conscious, especially in the US, people don't want that. So we're creating V-neck shirts designed in multiple colors, particularly new tones, that match your skin color and are very discreet. And also too, in a sense, ways that are priced competitively. Currently the way we're working right now is we have low margins compared to our competitors, and our next closest competitor charges over $50 per one shirt, which for some people is a lot more than they spend on a regular dress shirt. And one of the huge aspects of our product is that our substitutes do not really offer any competition to our product at all. Stuff such as deodorant to a regular cotton t-shirt won't really solve this issue for you.
Now, diving into what value we're creating for our customers, there's basically 4 key words that we believe we're creating value. First is our comfort. We want our clients to be comfortable throughout the day, even though they might be nervous on a project that they might be working on at the office. Confidence. Basically, we don't want anyone to have sweat marks on their shirts, feel not confident as well as they look that day. The quality, we have a high quality shirt that will also have your outer shirt long last over time, especially for white shirts that can get yellow stains over time. And lastly, we want an invisible thing. We don't want anyone else knowing that you're wearing this sweat tee. Now, diving into the market analysis, we have a design for both men and women for young professionals. Now, the men's clothing industry is roughly $9.3 billion in 2013. It did take a hit in 2008 due to the recession, but both the women's and men's industry is seen to rise around 3% in the next 5 years. And as a section, roughly 32% of men's purchases were for formal wear and suits, and another 24% was roughly divided amongst shirts and dress shirts and things like that. So men are roughly spending roughly about $5 billion a year on formal wear. Now, if we take a look into the women's market, they spend a lot more than the men on clothes. They spend roughly $42 billion in revenue in 2013. They hit another recession in 2008, and that's due to the negative annual growth, but they are on the rise as well. Now, the women's market is a lot more diversified in what they're purchasing, but the ones that we want to highlight are the dresses and also the suits and blouses. We estimate that this is going to be around $15 billion on what women are spending on these products a year.
So moving forward, how are we actually going to generate revenue? Well, there are a few different streams for us. First off, exhibits. That's a huge way for young clothing companies to get designs out there. There are 2 main exhibits we're focusing on right now. They are going to occur in the winter of 2014. There's one called Magic Las Vegas and another known as Project New York. And these are huge avenues of growth for a lot of us increasingly and aspiring new clothing companies to get exposure to manufacturers and department stores. Another aspect is online sales. We will develop a website that obviously offers the opportunity for you to go ahead and purchase the product online. Another aspect that we want to go and take advantage of is flash retailing. If you know, a huge aspect of clothing retail today is pop-up stores. Creating small, discrete stores within various locales, particularly major cities such as New York, Los Angeles, that rent out small spaces for a short period of time that don't cost too much money but generate a buzz and a word of mouth. And hopefully, eventually, we can find ourselves in department stores such as Nordstrom after some time. And so, moving forward, how are we going to market our brand? We hope to spend at least $30,000 per month on brand awareness. And how are we going to do this? First off, through hands-on promotion. Christopher, myself, and our management team has exposure to the DC, New York, and LA markets. These are the 3 out of the top 5 largest markets for clothing sales in the United States. So that's obviously a huge footprint that we can have in these areas. Getting in through department stores such as Nordstrom and Neiman Marcus that are obviously selling these products that go in tandem with our products, such as suits and dress shirts, and also through online and print media as we grow and expand to hit our target market.
Now, taking a look at the competitive landscape, there's several companies that try to solve this sweat problem that we all face. One of the closest competitors we have is the Sweat Shield undershirts. They as well have a very tight form-fitting shirt that is very invisible for another person looking. However, this is priced at $50, as Palmyra mentioned earlier. Another competitor is the Thompson Tee. These guys are another undershirt that just sold in white color. They're more of a cotton-based t-shirt, so they're not form-fitting. It's a lower quality, and especially around the neck area, it bulks up and has like little flaps and everything like that, which is not very good looking. And the high-hand IG model, these are basically patches that you can buy in packs of 10 to 15, depending on how much you want. And you attach it and put it on an undershirt that you already own. The biggest problem with these is that a lot of customers have complained that they have to replace them throughout the day. So one patch might not necessarily work, and you have to go into the bathroom and switch these out. And they're also kind of bulky as well. So people, if you're not wearing a suit jacket or anything like that, they're still very visible as well. And moving on into operations, how are we going to make this product? We have been in touch with this company in Triumph Organizations in Gujarat, India. I've been in touch with the manager over there for the past couple of months. And the minimum t-shirt order that he would like to do business with is a minimum of 500 t-shirts. But we are trying to move towards the exclusivity agreement. Especially moving forward, Palmyra and I want to have we don't have any uncertainty about that our supplier is no longer going to produce these t-shirts, especially if competition rises in the future. So if we agree on 50,000 orders per year, we can have an exclusive contract up to 12 months with this contractor at a variable cost of $5 a shirt and roughly $1.80 per landing cost.
So you're probably wondering to yourselves, who's going to help Christopher and I get this company off the ground? So Christopher and myself will be serving as co-CEOs of this company, equally footed and going into helping us expand. As CFO, we have Diva Muhammad. She has over half a decade's worth of experience in the private equity industry and currently serves as a third-year associate at a $10 billion private equity fund in Greenwich, Connecticut. She has extensive experience with working companies from the time of purchase to sale and can apply that to our company. Our CEO is Alexander Renzi, a graduate of Wharton's MBA program who's had extensive experience within startups and is currently making his own startup right now. So his network and connections from Wharton and his own experience in the startup industry is going to be a huge boon for us. And he's also based out of LA too, which is another huge market for us to tap into. And our legal counsel is Rajay Sade, a graduate of the University of Pennsylvania Law School, and he currently manages his own law office and is willing to help get our company started. And I feel like a huge aspect of this is that our CFO and our COO are willing to commit $35,000 to helping us get our company started off the ground and develop a demo for our product.
Now, taking a look into the financials, we want to highlight the sales. So within the first year, between Palmyra and I going to these exhibits and other trade shows, we estimated roughly $21,000 in sales due to a 5% conversion rate of all the people that we estimate to see in that given year. By 2015, we hope to be in at least 15 Nordstroms in the DC, Maryland, and Virginia area. This is due to my personal connection and ongoing relationship with the regional manager. If we can prove to him that we have over a year of cash flows and we can prove the quality of our shirts, which we believe we can, he can promise us to be put in 15 different stores within that year, which will also boost our credibility compared to our competitors. And finally, by year 2016, we hope to at least be in 2 issues of Men's Magazine. Men's Health Magazine has over 250,000 subscribers, and we expect a conversion rate of roughly 2% out of those users, which will raise our sales as well.
So what's our timeline with getting started? By the second quarter of 2014, we hope to have a demo produced and able to apply for a design patent to get our product protected intellectually. Then we hope by the fourth quarter of 2014 to launch a website for our product, help get a way for customers to buy our product, and start going and hitting these exhibits to have some exposure to other companies within the industry and get our product out there and known. By the third quarter of 2015, as Christopher mentioned, we hope to get into several department stores, including Nordstrom. And by the fourth quarter, we hope to fully ramp out and expand our online and newsprint advertising campaign. And that's what we hope to achieve within the next 2 years. That being said, do you guys have any questions? Yes?
The undershirt is channeling the moisture from the body outside of the shirt. When it contacts with the other shirt, doesn't that actually transfer the moisture to the shirt?
Right. That only happens, you think with a regular cotton shirt, that happens because it builds up in one specific trouble area. The great thing about this fiber is it spreads it evenly throughout, which heightens the evaporation effect. So you don't get those clumps of trouble areas, which will then bleed out into the outer shirt.
Christopher, if you could go back to the actual demo,
Yeah.
it might be easier for you to see if you look at the actual product demo. So essentially what Christopher was talking about, if you could see it, if you see the underarm areas, they're a little bit whiter, and that's the area he's specifically referring to where we have that technology in place to help mitigate the issue that you were speaking about.
So
Yes.
does your higher priced competitor use the same technology that you're planning on using?
Currently, no, they, I believe, use their own proprietary technology for their shirts. Yes, sir.
Two questions. How much do you rate, and also, how do you plan to get the prices below $25?
Sure. So definitely for raising, Christopher and I are very well aware that our product hasn't even had a demo yet. So there is no product for you to look at. There is no product for you to test, and we completely understand this. So we're only looking to raise money in a very interesting manner that's a little bit different from everybody else you've seen today. We're seeking a $5,000 investment or a 12-month lockout period. So you'll invest $5,000 to have the opportunity to become a first-round investor within our company. However, after 12 months, you have the opportunity to, one, exit your investment and receive the total $5,000 you invested if Chris and I fail to deliver you a product that's suitable to your needs, or two, if we do actually end up delivering a product that's suitable and can work, you're able to keep your $5,000 investment and invest more for a higher equity per dollar share in our company as a first-round investor. And then, what second question?
It's more about price point, but actually, you know what, let me scratch that and ask you a different question. What kind of protection or barrier do you have in place to prevent anyone else from, once they see this taking off?
That's an excellent question. It's really interesting being in the clothing industry. And really, the only thing you can really get is a design patent on your product, being able to use the technology in a manner that nobody else has used. And that's the way to really get your patent out there. Really, a huge thing that's going to be a boon for Christopher and I is having a first mover advantage and hopefully being the ones to help create a name for ourselves in this industry and creating a specific niche that nobody else can really come to, or that will take a lot of time for larger companies to help get themselves out into this market. Because obviously this takes an extensive amount of time for research and development and going out for a company to go and develop this product over time. And we hope to use that to our advantage, yes.
$5 include the royalty for full wax?
Yeah, that includes it.
Right. And going back to you with the design patent and everything, we have different tone colors. That's how we are going to promote our design with our lawyer and try to push forward that patent, which separates us from our competitors, because our competitors only offer their products in white and black. Us, by verifying our colors to tone neutral, especially for the women market, that are very more interested in having this invisible layer that matches their skin tone, is one way that we believe that we will be very successful in getting our design patent.
I think you mentioned a $30,000 a month in brand awareness costs. Can you drill down a little bit into how the $30,000 a month is spent?
Chris, you can speak to this a little bit.
So most of that expense goes into our exhibit fees. It costs a lot of money to enter these exhibits and get a good spot within these exhibits. Per exhibit, it's roughly $5,000 to $10,000. So out of that $30,000, we're only looking to go to roughly 2 or 3 exhibits per month, including our flash retailers that we mentioned earlier. So it's not necessarily that we're spending a lot of money on online retailing or developing a website or anything. It's just these upfront costs to get in front of all these people who may be interested in our product.
As Chris elaborated too, flash retailing, renting out space in places like New York and LA for a short period of time and duration to go set up these small stores that only last for about a week or so and to create buzz. That'll also technically be under marketing costs for us because that's a way to obviously develop brand awareness.
Is the retail price at under 25 or is it the wholesale price?
The retail price will be $25.
What is the wholesale price?
The wholesale price will be, I believe it was at $19 or $20.
$20.
Have you checked with Nordstrom? I mean, usually Nordstrom, if they're going to sell for 25, they have to buy it at 10 or 11.
Right. That I have not been able to talk financials yet with Tim on that regard. our variable cost per shirt is roughly $7. So we are definitely capable of selling wholesale our shirt to $12 to $15 range. That's a number that we can work on. The one thing that Tim did emphasize to me is that we have to have a cash flow and operations for a year, or Nordstrom will refuse to do business. We have to prove that we're a viable existing company. And after we can prove that, I will more than be willing to have a meeting with him, with his board of his 15 regional stores. And then that's when Palmyra and I will step in, give our demo of the quality of our product at which we're backing up our name in against for. Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much.